Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the UPIKE Coaches Show here on the UPIKE Sports Network. I'm Alec Morgan, joined by football head coach Corey Phipps. We're talking Bears football today. Real quick, want to shout out Buffalo Wild Wings for allowing us to have our Coaches Show here week to week. We love it. It's a good time. Today we've got the D-line, as well as we'll be talking to Ivan Sledge and Trevor Jones. Coach, I know last week wasn't exactly ideal. First loss under your belt as a head coach, but we'll dive into the nitty-gritty. First, what's your overall thoughts on last week?
Yeah, it's always a tough place to play at Georgetown. Coach Cronin does a great job. They've got a storied history there of being competitive at home or on the road, but their crowd gives you the business, and it's a fun place to play, But we felt like we learned some things about ourselves and had a really strong third quarter to try to fight our way back in it. Really you're going to break it down, but, you got to win the turnover battle.
Well, yeah, like I was going to say, that game was won through the air. Now, neither team could really get it going rushing. First game that you guys had under 100 rushing yards, just under at 96. Well, you guys held Georgetown to 30, so the defense was good. We'll highlight that. But really, looking at total offense, you guys won that battle, and I think what really killed you guys was the turnover battle.
Yeah, absolutely. In the first two games, if you look at it, we did a great job of winning the turnover battle, keeping ourselves on the field. But, this game, unfortunately, you start off with a special teams fumble and a muffed punt and set them up in a situation where they can get a quick score and kind of deflate yourself a little bit, which we've got to become a tougher ball club and understand that, football is about momentum and the ebb and flow and riding that wave as the game goes on. But, as well, our quarterback threw, 4 interceptions, so if you got 5 turnovers on the day, and you have a really tough time being in a ball game against number 8 team in the country.
Yeah, so let's shift it a little bit here. Is a loss good in any way for a team that goes out, has 2 big wins on the road, winning by 20-plus in both games, shutting the second team out? Is that a good kind of check for your team before you really go into conference play, or is it?
Yeah, you never really won a loss at any given moment in a season, but you got to take some moral victories from it. And we felt really good about, the fact that when we got punched in the mouth, we came out at halftime, scored immediately coming out of the locker room, had a great special teams play and a fake punt to get us back in the ball game. We scored 14 points, and we're down 31-14, and we've got the ball on the Georgetown 40 with a chance to score and make it a 10-point ball game going into the fourth quarter, and that's really what we were shooting for. Sometimes I guess you really got to try to shoot your way out of things, and we were really trying to teach our kids to be aggressive there, and we could have laid down and said, hey, we're down 31 points, we're not coming back from this, but we tried to get ourselves back in that ball game. And really, honestly, I think we just ran out a little bit of gas there in the fourth quarter, couldn't protect the passer like we wanted, quarterback got rushed a few times on some hits, and those ended up in scores for the Georgetown Tigers, where we had hoped we could get the game a little bit closer.
Well, and for us nerdy stat guys, looking at this sheet, folks, if you haven't, I recommend it. It does not tell the story, because number 8 team in the country, you go in on the road in a tough place to play at Toyota Stadium, and your guys really did kind of answer the call. Now, we had some mistakes, whatever. Their defense was really solid, but I feel like the way you guys played was almost, okay, all right, we take the loss, but we go into this next conference game feeling confident. We can play with those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've got a bunch of ranked opponents down the road. We've got to learn how to manage ourselves. And sometimes there's a difference between Coach Wells and I talked about this with playing with emotion and playing emotional. And I think there were some stretches there. There are guys let their emotions get the best of them, and instead of executing and teaching our guys to really settle in, because, let's be honest, any great football team in this league or any level from the NFL down to Pop Warner, you got to be able to play from behind, and you got to not rattle yourselves. So really want to see our guys respond this week against Campbellsville.
Yeah, so let's shift to the defense. How did you feel about the defensive performance? I know you got a lot of good guys like Ivan Sledge firing off the edge. That linebacker core has been nice, been really solid for you guys. And we've got that defense in here today, and we'll talk to one of the defensive linemen. But how do you feel like the defense has come along?
I think if you can hold the number 8 team on the road to 341 yards of total offense and
so you're doing
17 first downs, and hold them under 100 yards rushing and fluster their quarterback like we did. We had a little bit of blown assignments. If you take 3 or 4 plays, Coach Elliott would like to have back, but that we're going to be that every week. We're coaches. That's what we're geared to do. That's what we're really in this for, is to clean up the mistakes, not just rave about the successes. So But I really think that defense is playing really, really strong and doing the things they need to win us some ball games down the stretch here in this last 5-6 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be really exciting to see those guys in action. Coming up on 3 home games after this next week at Campbellsville. We'll be on the road, and then 3 home games including Senior Day, and then October 30th, of course, homecoming. So we'll pause there, and we'll be back with Trevor Jones, wide receiver, and then we'll be back with Coach Phipps visiting about Campbellsville. Welcome back to the UPIKE Coaches Show. I'm sitting here with Trevor Jones, third-year senior here at UPIKE, transferring from Morehead State back in 2019. Trevor, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, for sure. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like we said, Trevor's been a member of the team since the 2019 season, had some success at Morehead before coming over here to Old Pikeville.
Yes. I played running back over there and was fortunate enough to break a record in a game. Some different things happened, and didn't really know if I wanted to play football anymore, and took a year off and had an opportunity to come out here and visit. And Coach Holland, I'm fortunate enough that he got me down here,
right.
And I'm happy. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're very happy to have you on the show, man. So you had a big catch on Saturday against Georgetown. Let's talk about how the transition's been with this new coaching staff. You came from the Al Holland system, and that last coaching staff, kind of that last system, I'm sure there's some things that carried over, but, Coach Phipps has a way he likes to do things. How have you adapted to that, and do you think it's been beneficial?
There's definitely been some growing pains for all of us, just the first year. But, those first 2 games, we're really excited. We're cooking. And so we definitely believe in the system, and we got full confidence that these coaches are going to put us in a position to succeed. So, we took a bad loss, that third game.
Yeah.
So, but get back, you go back to the drawing board, start with the basics, and I felt like we really had a good week of practice. We're ready to bounce back. I feel like we're hungry. We're going to do nothing but get better from that loss.
Sure, and as a team, as a unit, that's kind of your first big game, first conference game, first ranked team, number 8 Georgetown, and you guys did pretty good. You held your own, beat them in total offense. Really, it was just the turnovers that killed you. So is that a reflection of the attitude of this team? Do you feel like things are, for you as a leader, as someone who's been on the football field for a few years now, how do you feel like the culture is? Is it something that you guys can continue to grow on, and how does that loss affect it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you find out a lot about yourself when adversity hits.
Sure.
We didn't have a lot of adversity in those first 2 games, so we fixed a lot of things, some character situations, and from a scheme standpoint, we get better every week. We're in the film room every day. Coach Phipps is, like we said, we got full confidence in these guys to put us where we need to be, and it's just about hard work, man. It's coming in every day ready to work. So.
Yeah. Before the season, Coach Phipps kind of overviewed us on his style, and it was kind of a throw it around the yard, basketball on grass is how he likes to say it. But honestly, the team's been really balanced. You guys have almost matched the rushing and passing attempts. And Lee, I feel like, has done a great job, under center for you guys as, a freshman, a COVID freshman, learning the system. How is your relationship with Lee and the receiving core in general?
Yeah, we got a really good relationship. I think 9 different guys touched the ball in that first game and second game. So I think 6 different guys scored. So that's what it's about. And it's really, I've never been part of like such a tight knit group of guys.
Yeah.
Family oriented.
Yep.
So
it's a brotherhood.
So it's this is my senior year, and I'm trying to soak it all in, and I can't be more happy than with the way it's going, really. So.
Well, that's awesome. That's exactly what we want to hear, man. So, what's your scout on Campbellsville?
They're young. We feel good about it. We're confident. We're hungry. We're ready to get on the field for sure Saturday. So, definitely ready to bounce back.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, man, thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
We're back here on the UPIKE Sports Network, UPIKE Coaches Show here at Buffalo Wild Wings, back with Coach Phipps, and now let's dig into the nitty-gritty. We've got Campbellsville on the road this weekend. What's the scout?
Well, Campbellsville, is probably the best winless team in the country right now. They got a lot of dynamic athletes that really feels like kind of a trap game when you're trying to get yourself back on track, and you got a team who hasn't won. They're kind of like a wounded animal. You don't know what you're going to get, and they've, Perry Thomas, he's been there quite some time. Great coach, done a great job, great institution. They've got some really great players. You feel like their defensive backs and their linebackers can really move and run, and offensively they do enough formationally to make it a bit of a task in scouting and preparing. They've got a running back, a grad transfer from Kentucky Christian University I know real well.
You're familiar with that?
Yeah, Deonta Sip. It's his birthday, so happy birthday, Deonta. But he was the guy that was the all-time leading rusher at his previous institution, and really doubled their rushing production from last year with him in the backfield. So got to stop him and got to rattle that young offensive line, and I think we'll be okay. We're excited about some of the things we're doing in the kicking game this week. We think that special teams wise, we've got a good game plan.
Really? Can you dive into that?
No,
never,
of
course not.
Never,
right?
Never.
Okay,
Never.
All right. So when do you guys take off?
We'll leave tomorrow afternoon. We'll have a walkthrough at 5:45 a.m. So
that is a blast.
Yeah. You got to be an early bird to be a Bear. So we'll leave at noon and head over, get in the hotel, have a good evening with meetings and walkthroughs and a little bit of team time before we hit the hay, and then drive down the next day for a 2:01 kickoff. So
yeah.
I'm not quite sure where the 01 came from, but
so you don't know either.
I do not.
That was a conversation we had. It was like, why 2:01?
Bizarre.
I mean,
Bizarre.
It may be a superstition thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
Football coach is not like even game times?
I don't know. You will have to ask their sports information director.
Okay.
SID to SID.
All right, so after Campbellsville, we've got 3 straight home games coming up, and they're big ones. We've got Senior Day against Bethel, and then later coming up against University of the Cumberlands, October 30th. That's a homecoming day. We also have season opening men's basketball that day, so an exciting stretch coming up. How do you get your guys' mind coming off a loss on the road game before you really come back to Pikeville and enjoy all the trappings that brings?
Right.
Are these guys excited? Are they motivated?
I think they are. I really, I don't think the way we traveled last week was an issue. I thought our guys were really locked in. I thought there were a lot of good things happening on the bus and in the hotel and the meeting room, and pregame meal was locked in. So I was really proud of the way our guys traveled. If we can duplicate that, and lock some things in early and get rid of those turnovers, that's the big thing for us this week. We can't give it to the bad guys. If we can eliminate those turnovers, possess the ball, score some touchdowns, and get the stops that we're accustomed to defensively, I think we're going to have a great game.
Yeah, and Lee, if you're watching this, I'm not speaking for you here. Genuinely asking, as an OC, as an offensive-minded guy, does it hurt a quarterback's mindset? Coming out of a game where he didn't play a bad ball game. They just jumped on top of a couple turnovers and it cost you bad. Is he going to be throwing shorter passes? Is it going to affect the way his confidence is? Because, goes 2 games where he had, career
absolutely.
games.
Absolutely. So here's the interesting thing. I don't have probably a large enough sample pool with Lee Kirkland to really, know completely. But I'm telling you, I have probably never coached a tougher quarterback. I mean, 6'4", 260 pounds. He'll take a you know, he'll take a hit, get back up, and he's just like, Coach, give me the play, you know. And so for me, I think he'll bounce back and be fine. I think he's a kid that wants to do better for his team, you know, and we know how it is, you know, everybody points to the quarterback, says he had 4 interceptions, but the reality is we had some route issues, we had some protection issues, and let's be honest, you know, that corner that was National Player of the Week last week was just a dang good player.
They had a really good defense. I just know
absolutely.
in Lee's mind, especially if he's the way he described it, it's on him. You know, the buck stops here, but that's really not the tell of, you know, how his game is as a quarterback. And I think it's really exciting to have a young guy like that who is as strong and poised that you described.
You know, we've got a good quarterback room all together. Those guys really support each other and lift each other up, and we've got some guys who are redshirting that really push. And you know, we've got another one of our young quarterbacks who sits in the box who's redshirting, and you know, they kind of feed off each other. So there's a really good positive vibe in that room. So I expect us to bounce back this week at the quarterback position.
It seems like the team overall has got a positive vibe.
They do.
I think they're all really bought in, and that's both of these guys said the same thing. We're bought in, and we believe in this coaching staff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that makes me feel good because I believe in them and glad to be here and really get to just facilitate, you know, their football culture. It's theirs. They own it. They have ownership in it. And these are guys that I think the UPIKE and community can really be, you know, proud of because even coming out of last week's loss, you know, they're ready to get back and represent their institution in a positive light.
And that's all you can ask for. We love to see it. Well, we look forward to kickoff at 2:01 p.m. on Saturday.
Don't be late. 2:01.
And I'm sure the Campbellsville Sports Network will have that one live for you, Coach.
Appreciate
you today. Enjoy some B-dubs. And we'll be back next week, same time, Thursday, 1 p.m. for the UPIKE Coaches Show, Volume 5. Thanks for tuning in.